Well, hello, hello, hello. It's Vegas Police, and this is my vlog for Sunday morning. I went last night over to the Fontainebleau to pick up a jacket from Raul, who's a friend of the show. He had my jacket from the day club where he invited me to hang out with him. Thank you, Raul. And he brought it over to Poppy's Steak because we were having dinner there. And I went and picked up my jacket, and I was going down the escalator, and Poppy's Steak, the owner of Poppy's Steak, and I'm going to assume his name is Poppy, was going on the up escalator, and he called out to me, Vegas Police, feed me, Seymour, which of course, what am I going to do? I had to go up and check out Poppy's Steak. And while I was up there, and while I was talking to people and dealing with people and meeting with the various executives, because they were all up there, I saw more of the same at Fontainebleau. And I'm not going to get into details because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. That's really the truth. I got started over there at the Fontainebleau as an emotional mess. You know what happened with me and Chef John. You saw the email that he put out about me. So I triggered him and he triggered me. And I was invited to the opening at Fontainebleau. And, I like to admit to things. And I'm going to admit to this because it's important. I was glad that what happened with Chef John happened because I didn't want to go over to the Fontainebleau as another one of the influencers and blow smoke up everybody's tuchus and, be like, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I love it so much. Because I just feel that my show is all about reality. My show is all about the truth. I'm a very damaged person. I'm a broken toy. I tell you guys all the time. I live my whole life this way. I've done plenty of terrible things as an addict. My ex-partner, Bruce, I'll always bring him up, even though I don't really talk to him that much. We're on good terms. I pulled so much crap with this guy. And I go in and I meet, all the executives. There's serious problems over there, but it's not the building. It's not the casino. The casino is beautiful. I think in a lot of ways it's more of a cultural thing. And, somebody said a comment in one of my videos, guys angling for a consulting gig, And he's right. He's right because there's a lot of advice. There's a lot of things that they could do over there. I feel like they have completely and totally neglected the local community. And I don't say that to virtue signal. But, I saw the movie Casino. I saw what went on in there. That movie was very, very, very educational. You saw the way the locals threw Ace Rothstein out. And we already lived that movie. We know what happened. We know Ace Rothstein left town. We know what happened to Nicky Santoro. When you come to Vegas, it's a community that is in the middle of the desert. There's no water. There's a sense of survival out here. It makes sense. If you're living under ridiculously harsh weather, lack of water, you're scraping, it makes sense that the community would be a cohesive community, would be the kind of community that people worry about one another. I've never heard the word locals related to fun. That's where I would start. That's absolutely where I would start at Fontainebleau. I don't care whether it's Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, the slowest night of the week. I don't care what it is. I would make a concerted effort to engage the local community. I've said this once. I'll say it 100 times. If you want to trigger Vegas Police, just come up to me. Come up to me on the Strip. Come up to me downtown. And say Justin Timberlake. And the reason why is because that, to me, is just a gross example of a waste of capital. It's embarrassing. I had employees. I had about 50 employees at one time. No ego. And I remember I got a BMW, and it was expensive BMW. It was about 80 grand. And I got it because I was trying to impress this girl because I'm a loser. And I hid it next door, Anyone can tell you that I hid that car for a month or two from my employees because my employees are out there busting their ass, and I didn't want them to see that car. For them to go and grab Justin Timberlake for $6 million for 1 hour is a slap in the face to everybody that works there. And I know that you can't undo the past, but they need to really shift course like right now. Like right now. The number one word that comes to my mind, and look, I'm as guilty as them, but I know it, My ego sits on my shoulder like this. Vegas policy, Vegas policy, Vegas policy. Shut up, man. And I made a joke about it because, when I get all these compliments, which are, they're unfounded, I had to make a joke. You'll hear me say all this stuff. Feed me, Seymour. Because I don't know any other way to deal with the embarrassment of that ego nonsense. So when I'm uncomfortable, I make a joke. And they need to make a lot of changes over there. And they're never going to be number one. What I would do if I was over there, and you guys are going to think this is ridiculous, but you could build a whole branding campaign, a whole advertising campaign with the following slogan: help us be number two. And there's some humility there. They know they're never going to be number one, but they could be a solid number two for a lot of reasons. Number one, Caesars and the Caesars Corporation is hard. It's one of the worst companies in America as far as I'm concerned. Tom Reeg is a zero as far as I'm concerned. They're not executing on anything over that $30 for a horrible egg sandwich and a rotten cup of coffee. I mean, that to me, I almost like every time I go by the Paris, I want to make a video about that egg sandwich and that coffee for $30. Caesars is horrifying. MGM, I always give them a B+. I think Bill Hornbuckle is, I don't know him at all, but he seems like a decent guy. He really does. So I have nothing to say about MGM. But the point is that there's room for a number two behind Wynn. Wynn is a corporation, but Wynn has managed to remove that corporate feel. It just does not have it at all. It just doesn't have the FU feel. When you go into the Wynn and you're sitting at the Parasol bar and you see a drink that's $18, you say to yourself, the Wynn could charge me $32 for this drink, and I probably would pay it. And I would feel a little violated, whatever. But they just don't violate you at the Wynn. And I've lost so much money there. So I know what it's like to lose a lot of money at the Wynn, but I never felt violated. I feel violated at Caesars. I really do. And there's room for number two in the Vegas marketplace. There's room for the Fontainebleau to be number two. But they need to make some wholesale changes, and they need to make them super fast. And this is the way I feel. And I don't know how many people are going to watch this vlog. Vlog. But I wanted to get that out there. I had my cup of coffee. I have to go to the gym. And I wanted to put this I'm putting it out into the universe. Just like when little Mahi and I wanted to go to the football game on Sunday. And she said to me, put it out into the universe. Like an hour later, Wynn. And I love Wynn. They took me to the football game, and a lot of great things cascaded from me going to the football game. A lot of great things. And that's what's amazing about social media. That's why I have so much gratitude for what I'm doing. I don't have any delusions about who I am. I don't have any delusions about my talent level. I could barely edit. So I don't edit. I don't have the patience. I have the worst ADHD in the world. But I wanted to put this out there because it would be good. It would be good for Las Vegas. It would be good for the community. It would be good for the employees. It would be good for everybody if Fontainebleau would become a clear, fun number two. Vegas policy.